Hey, welcome back to the SEO news coverage from Pathfinder Marketing. We are a digital marketing agency from Perth, and in this roundup, we'll be covering SEO news from the last week. So let's jump straight into it. There's a bunch of new features that is coming out of Google Business Profile, one of which is ability to edit videos when you upload it as a part of a review. I think it's live now. I was able to see this on my account in Australia. I believe it's a very useful feature to have. So when you take a video, you can just cut out sections that you don't need to appear in a review and post it directly from the Google review interface. Google is again pushing up some updates to review manipulation. And now they've added these two things, which basically says you can no longer ask your staff to hit certain number of reviews or ask staff to solicit views by including staff names and things like that. Again, it's hard to see how all of this can be strictly enforced because at times people naturally tend to add named reviews, but I'm guessing like Google will kind of see if there is a certain threshold that it's kind of hitting and then remove those reviews. I've heard some people saying that views were removed in the past couple of weeks, so this could be one of the reasons why. I'm sure most of you who work with Google Business Profiles would have come up across this issue when a user might suggest something wrong and Google pushes that live to your business profile. But now it looks like Google will check with the owner of the account to see if those edits are correct and you can approve them. So this sounds like a great feature to have. So this is a big change, and I love it. It's basically Google will be asking the business to confirm if any edits that they're going to push out is correct. So now users can't just make any edits to your business, and that would just go live, which was a big issue before. But it looks like with this update, they will kind of make sure that wouldn't happen. When it comes to e-commerce and AI, UCP and ACP are two other major protocols that are there, and UCP is an open source protocol led by Google, I believe, and it has gotten a lot of adoption in the recent months. And now there are some new council members joining from Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Salesforce, and Stripe. So as you can see, more people are kind of adopting this new shift that is led by Google as opposed to ACP, which is OpenAI led, which has steadily been losing steam, I believe. So if you're looking to jump into e-commerce and AI, UCP is probably where you should be spending most of your time. Looks like Google is testing out a new feature in SERPs called AI-powered audio, which is basically like a podcast with the content that you kind of want to read. It is something that has existed in things like Notebook LM, where you can provide a piece of content and it will create an audio podcast with that. And it looks like now those kind of features are getting integrated directly into SERPs. Again, like this will lead to more clicks being taken away from publishers, and I don't imagine them being too happy about it. Adobe has published their insights on AI and digital marketing from Q1. So this quarterly AI report has got some key stats on how AI traffic is doing, what they have seen, and things like that. So it's got lots of breakdown by industries and things like that, where it's kind of showing like, AI traffic is generally kind of quite high when you look at retail and travel, and traffic to software sector is kind of low, which, as you can imagine, is possible because now you can develop your own software with AI coding tools. So that industry can take a hit, but like according to this, other industries are seeing traffic increasing from AI sources. And it kind of breaks on a lot of other things as well. It's definitely worth a read to kind of see how the AI industry is changing. One of the things that they mention is visitors from AI generally tend to be more engaged than non-AI visitors. So it's got 55 pages of data. In this post, David kind of looks at how OpenAI is using internal links on the page generate their answers. So having internal links will kind of help AI figure out what are the relevant pieces that it needs to look at when it lands on a page. So he gives you a breakdown of how the OpenAI search bot hits the different links on the page and how it kind of creates the answer from that. It's definitely worth a quick read. Google has said that they're expanding the Gemini features in Chrome to users in the Asia Pacific. So this includes Australia, Japan, Indonesia, and other countries. So now you'll be able to summarize content like when you're on Chrome using the AI features in Chrome. So this was available in US and India, I believe, and now it's kind of rolling out to other countries as well. If you work with Screaming Frog, now there's a Python library that allows you to pull data from your Screaming Frog roles and programmatically query that and look at the data using Python. This is the library that you can use to kind of do that. You can easily pass it on to something like Claude and ask it to create reports for you and things like that. It looks like BigCommerce is introducing transaction fee on all their plans. They're calling it open payment provider fee. So if you use a third-party payment gateway, then there will be a fee depending on the plan that you're on. So unless you're on the enterprise, you will have a certain fee that goes for each transaction, similar to how Shopify kind of operates. So if one of the things that was holding you back from switching from BigCommerce to a platform like Shopify was the transaction fee, now that looks like it's no longer the case. If you have web coded apps on Wursel, you might want to look in and see if you have been impacted by this breach that happened last week. Wursel has mentioned that hackers have breached the internal system and have stolen sensitive customer credentials like API keys and things like that. So it's worth checking out if you have something on Wursel and if that was impacted. And if that's the case, I would suggest like shutting down those keys. So the study by Ahrefs looks into ChatGPT and why it cites certain pages over the others. It kind of breaks down things like only 50% of the URL that it kind of retrieves are used in citations. It talks about like the different industries and how almost 70% of non-cited URLs are from Reddit and things like that. So it's definitely worth a read to kind of see how AI search is evolving from ChatGPT's point of view. It's got a lot of data points that might interest you as well. One of the things that they mention is that the title and content being matched to their initial user's query is still one of the biggest factors that is used when citing content. Anthropic has launched Claude Design, which is like a separate product. It was only available in the web app, but yesterday I saw that in the desktop app as well on Windows. So it allows you to ask it to design something. So you can pass a screenshot or your existing code base and ask it to design something. And it does a really good job of designing pages. It doesn't look like the generic AI content. The only problem is it has got a separate limit to your normal cloud usage and it runs out really, really quickly. I believe it's running on Opus 4.7. You could probably try it 2 or 3 times and then it will kind of run out of limit. It would depend on a lot of things like your code base size and things like that. But I found it to be very limiting on the $20 plan. But like people have been creating really awesome UI with this, and it's definitely worth checking out. This is a new SEO tool from AIMA. So it's like a chat interface where you can talk to the system and ask it questions on SEO and other marketing related things. It helps you analyze SEO features, breaks down core web vitals, do a technical audit, do a content gap analysis and whatnot. I haven't had a chance to play around with it a lot, but it looks like it's built on top of AIMA's existing framework for SEO. So it is not like a general ChatGPT chat where you just ask something. It has a good bit more smarts built into it from an SEO point of view. And yeah, can't wait to try it out and see what it kind of provides. So that's everything that we've got time for this week. If there is something that you liked about it, please do let us know. And if you have some suggestions to improve the content, we are all ears and we'd love to hear from you. All right. Thanks for watching.